come to a podcast, listen to some white lady talk about napping. ASMR. And really fluffy things. Fuck the US bombing of Iran. Hated rivalry. Fuck Trump, also known as the greatest love story ever told. Fuck ICE. Fuck Epstein. There was too much plot in Onyx Storm. I'll never love again. Stay vigilant. There's men out there. Wild idea that we treat people like human beings regardless of whether they're on drugs or not. Hi. Exhaustion and rage. Fuck the Epstein files. Hello, Internet. Did you miss me as much as I missed you? You're okay. Don't shake. You're fine. If this is your first time joining, hi, my name is Audrey, and this is the Fire and Fiber podcast, where I talk about knitting, thrifting, social justice, politics, mental health, whatever I feel like, because apparently there are no rules anymore. I am coming to you from my home in southwestern Ontario on the traditional territory of the Six Nations of the Grand River on the Haldimand Tract, which was a piece of land that was taken by the Canadian government for their own uses from the Haudenosaunee people and was never given back or properly paid for. I am a mother. I am a activist, I guess. I work in healthcare. I'm an Indigenous person, and I'm a new dog mom. So I guess that's the first thing I'll talk about. Again, for those of you who don't know, I have ADHD. So I actually made a little agenda list thing. I know, I'm so proud of me too. For today, first I just want to say, if I'm a bit rough, I have a 4-day migraine. So today is Sunday. I have had this migraine since I ate. Okay, you know what it was. Wednesday we had a potluck at work, and I ate pineapple cake. One of my coworkers is an incredible baker, and she brought like a really fantastic pineapple upside down cake. I'm pretty sure it had the most it was so decadent and moist and had big chunks of pineapple, and I'm pretty sure the frosting was like made from scratch cream cheese frosting. My only complaint or regret is that I wish I had had more than one piece, because I know that pineapple is a migraine trigger for me, and I enjoyed it so much knowing I was going to get sick. I wish I'd had more of it. As a child, I was a really picky, very, very picky eater. Wouldn't even try a whole bunch of foods. Again, ADHD. And then as an adult, I tried a whole bunch of foods, and then I really hyperfixate on new foods that I like. Again, ADHD. One of them was pineapple, and then I found out a few years later that pineapple is a migraine trigger, and for me it's actually my worst migraine trigger, which is a bummer because I love it. I used to eat a ton of it. It's super good for you. Anyways, so I kind of did it to myself, so I'm not looking for pity, but I'm just it's been a little trying, and I feel a little scattered. I've also been under quite a lot of stress with work and life, so I'm wearing my big glasses today to cover up this aggressive cystic pimple that moved into my eyebrow a couple weeks ago. Just will not leave. I said this the last time. It feels kind of weird recording a podcast about knitting or talking about knitting and really fluffy things when I'm broadcasting to you from the dystopian hellscape that is 2026 and living in North America. Everything sucks. Everything is terrible. And if you have been triggered by that, or you're going through it because of what has been going on, I see you, and I'm sorry. It's same. It's really hard. I was thinking about it this morning too. If I haven't been as clear as I could or should have, and I to clarify, I really don't like ood words like could, would, should. I think those are problematic words, but either way. I just want to make it clear, because I feel like I have not talked about a lot of this stuff as much as I feel like I should have with having a platform. But just so we're all on the same page, fuck the US bombing of Iran, fuck Trump, fuck ICE, fuck everything, fuck Epstein, fuck the Epstein files, fuck this global cabal of predators. If I haven't been clear, and I definitely feel like I haven't spoken up about the genocide in Palestine as much as I should have, free Palestine, fuck Russia and the war in the Ukraine, fuck what's going on with Rwanda and the Congo, just I just want to be very, very, very clear because I feel like, especially with the invasion of Palestine, I did not speak on my social media as much as hindsight I should have. So just so we're all on the same page, if any of those things that I just mentioned are challenging for you and don't align with your personal beliefs, tag your friends and leave comments because the engagement is actually great for me in the algorithm. So if you want to like tag some megabots, go for it. It is Sunday, March 1st, and if you've seen what has been happening not only in Minnesota but in Kansas with the fucking rescinding of driver's licenses for trans people. Fuck that too. Fuck this government. Like, I live in Canada and people are like, it's not that bad here. It's not that bad here. You know what? It very well could be because our little bitch ass prime minister issued a statement that
Canada fully supports the US's bombing of Iran.
no, not this one. Not this Canadian. No. So, just wanted to get that out of the way. I'm feeling this weird combination of exhaustion and rage. Like, as a woman, all of the things that I feel like a lot of us have already known was true coming to light with the Epstein files. Because why would you believe hundreds and thousands of women making claims and accusations? Like, why would you believe women, right? Fuck. And then the. Anyways, like I said, I am very unwell over it and angry and sad and exhausted. I'm just so fucking tired of like the lack of accountability and anyways, you know what? It has to be said. I don't care anymore. Not that I ever cared, but like I think I'm just so tired. Like, is this really the world that we're leaving for our children? Not the one I want to. Anyways, Um, the second thing, for those of you who've been around a while, I spoke back in November about having to put our sweet baby, my big Great Dane Deja, down. I really struggled with it. So previously, when I've had other dogs pass away, for example, the dog we had before Deja, her name was Lila. When she passed away, my husband and I were very okay with not adopting another dog for a while. We very much were not ready and didn't want to rush into it. And, you know, I had small kids and like it wasn't a good time. And that was okay. And when we put Deja down, I immediately wanted another dog. Like when we put Lila down, I was like, I'll never love again. With Deja being gone, my house just felt so empty, and I think especially because I work from home primarily, I just was so freaking sad. And you know, there's only so much enrichment you can do with two barn cats. It was just a bummer. I had been bullying my husband from like day one, being like, I need another dog. I need another dog. I need another dog. I need another dog. And he finally relented, however you want to take that. I was looking on the rescue site that we'd gotten our last dog from. It's a rescue called Rebel Dog Rescue. They're based out of St. Catharines and they rescue dogs from Texas. They have one of the partners lives there and they bring dogs up from Texas. I guess Texas has a really, really like staggering stray dog population, and it's like, so they bring dogs from Texas, which is how we got Deja, my Great Dane. And she was very much like the unicorn of rescue dogs because she was a 6-year-old Great Dane who had lived in the same home her whole life. Her owner had surrendered her for a variety of reasons that made sense, primarily around like, I believe the owner had gotten pregnant and moved and started a new job, and there just wasn't, I think she recognized that she didn't have capacity to take care of this dog and wanted to give her a life that she deserved. So Deja was actually surrendered into a foster home. So she never was in the street, she was never in the pound, and primarily the dogs that they rescue are like street dogs. They're dogs that have never lived in a home, never had an owner, all that stuff. Anyways, I was looking online and I mean, as much as I loved my big dumb Marmaduke mini horse Great Dane, I don't have the house that can sustain a large animal, especially with 2 kids. So we were looking at smaller dogs, And then I saw this guy online. I don't know. Do you want to say hi? Do you want me to put a cushion on my lap and you can sit on it? So this is Queso, like the Tex-Mex cheese dip. Queso, they think he's around 3. He came from the streets. Never, we don't think he had an owner. They're pretty sure he was like a rat terrier, possibly with a little bit of Chihuahua, especially when it comes to like, he's very shaky. He's 13 pounds. And he is kind of also the unicorn dog because he is really like a sweet, cuddly, calm dog, which I wasn't expecting for a terrier. My husband grew up with terriers. Like they had terriers. I grew up around terriers, and I've never seen a calm terrier like him. He just kind of wants to cuddle and hang out all day. He's very much a companion dog and loves his crate. Great on the leash. Yeah, knows his name. Very eager to please. Again, like kind of a turnkey dog in that he's, for being on the street, for being a stray, like so well behaved and really easy to be around. And he's become kind of this fantastic part of our household immediately, especially since I work from home. I get to have lots of snuggles throughout the day. Well, he only just started barking recently, like doesn't really bark. Has been not getting along with the cats, but like it was pretty good about putting up his boundaries when we first got him. So the cats have been keeping their distance and everyone's kind of settled in. Hi. And even my kids really enjoy him, which, I mean, they did not want a dog when I got Deja, and they were not super into having a big dog, but I think because he's small and he's quite chill, they're much more into him. So he's fit into our house really well. And I actually picked him up on Valentine's Day. So he was a bit of an early birthday present to myself. That sounds weird because, dogs aren't things, they're part of your family, but either way. So it was nice having him for my birthday. I turned 36 last week, and that was really interesting. I've been having sort of a panic for the last couple of months around. I kind of figured out, I didn't know what it was for a while. And then I kind of figured out that in my head, I was thinking, like, okay, I'm turning 36. So the first half of my 30s are over, and I'm that much closer to 40. And not from a, like, oh my gosh, I'm getting older perspective or getting anxious about getting closer to 40. But I think for me, sort of realizing that in the past year, I've been really cognizant and really aware of how aging is starting to impact me, how things in my body feel, like my recovery process. And I sort of had this feeling, this like ominous dark cloud feeling that I was going to, like, I think recognizing that I'm having a harder time bouncing back from things, and that decisions I was making about my health were having more of an impact than they did in my 20s or 30s. So I was a little bit anxious about my birthday and getting older because, health, I've been struggling with some health stuff, and so that felt really unnerving. And I think once I named it and like talked about it, I felt better, and I do feel better. I've been trying to do a few things differently in 2026. So I've been journaling a little bit more, which if you have ADHD, I think like the impulse to buy a beautiful journal, be like, I'm going to take up journaling, and then like how quickly that falls off. Same. I have been trying to spend some time and be a little bit more intentional around writing my thoughts down periodically. I'm not holding myself to any sort of like strict schedule, but it does feel good when I do it, especially getting them like from in here onto paper. Things definitely are easier to process and work through. So I've been trying to be more intentional about a few different things and slowing down. I think this, because I'm a winter baby, I definitely feel this. I've really leaned into, I think in the past year, the idea of like wintering and slowing down. The way I look at it is, if we take our cues from Mother Nature, like Mother Nature goes to sleep in the winter. So this expectation that you have to be productive all year round is, I think it's really damaging to a lot of people, myself included. So I've been really leaning into this idea of like slowing down and resting and sitting in stillness sometimes, which is not easy for me. Even yeah, like trying to find pockets of quiet, which is really, really difficult with small kids and lifing. I've even been napping recently, which is wild because I have only napped like since I was a child. I never napped in university. I really only napped when I was pregnant and when I was postpartum, and even then I didn't really. I've always been like, naps are for depressed people. Like hilarious because I'm depressed. But I really struggled with like the productivity aspect and like giving myself permission to rest. And it's funny because my mom is a napper. My mom naps every day. My husband in the winter naps every day. I have this like weird internal like judgment mechanism where I'm like, oh, good for you for being able to sleep. Must be nice. But anyways, we're trying to silence that inner voice and make room for a little bit more compassion in my own head. So I've been napping, I've been resting, I've been really trying to give my body and my mind space and time to be cared for and be nurtured. So that's been kind of cool. Come to a podcast, listen to some white lady talk about napping. The privilege, right? Anyways, sorry, that's sarcasm. Also, this outfit, put a picture up. This outfit, I think, is my whole personality. I think I'm gonna make this outfit my whole personality. Also, it's so soft. I bought it on Poshmark. The other thing I wanted to talk about is it is now March 1st, which means that the February knitting challenge that my team Knitters Ain't Quitters and I participated in is officially over. And I just want to say a huge congratulations to all my team members. The team Knitters Ain't Quitters raised, drumroll please, $3,295 for the Canadian Cancer Society, which goes directly into their research, advocacy, and supporting patients all across Canada. I'm very proud. And so, yeah, I wanted to shout out the people on my team who helped make this possible: Michelle, Karen, Chrissy, Katie, myself. I'm just reading my list because I have a horrible memory. My friend Kata, Penny, Tamu, Marsha, and Maddie. I really appreciate you all begging the people in your life for donations or however you managed to make it happen. It's incredible. I'm very proud. I feel like very proud mama. But anyways, so the other thing that I did in February that was exciting, if you don't know, is I released my very first pattern on Ravelry. It is a free sock pattern. It's called the banana sock. I released it in two versions. So there is a regular version, and then I also released a low vision version. So those are both available on Ravelry for free. It was really exciting to get some of the feedback on it, read some of the comments, and see how many people were already starting it. It's still available on Ravelry under my name, Fire and Fiber. It is, like I said, a free no heel cuff down sock pattern that is worked in fingering weight yarn, and it's really something that I think is like a great beginner pattern. Great for if you don't know someone's shoe size, or if they, might have growing feet like children. I had made a pair for my friend Lauren while she was pregnant because I think her feet were a little bit swollen during pregnancy and they went down after. So that again is available on my Ravelry, and I will also leave the link below in the description box. So I feel like if you've hung around this long, you're like, lady, get to the goods. So I'm going to. Let's talk about some whips. If you know me, you know I'm not a monogamous knitter. I have quite a few whips on the go, and I'd love to talk about them with you. So the first that I want to share is, now that I'm done promoting my sock pattern, look, I'm still not finished my sock. Again, banana socks. I'm still working away. I want these to be really long, so they're taking me a long time. I've also been really focused on knitting sweaters lately, like big garments, which I'll talk about. So the socks have been kind of neglected. I feel like I'm probably going to slow down on my sweater knitting soon as the weather warms up and move back into sock knitting for the summer, just because having a sweater on your lap that you're trying to knit in Ontario summer is torture. So the next one I want to talk about is, again, no surprise, I'm still in the middle of my King Salmon Light. I do think I'm making progress. I mean, I know I'm making progress. So this is a Caitlin Hunter pattern. This is the fingering weight version, which came out a couple months ago. I feel like I've been working on this forever. I'd have to check my Ravelry and see. I definitely cast it on before Christmas. And yeah, so I think I've got probably, I want to say like maybe 4 inches from the sleeve separation. Again, it's a slog. It's taking forever. Once I'm done the body, I'm going to be stuck on Sleeve Island. So I'm not anticipating this being done anytime soon, but I am very happy with the progress I'm making. This is made in Ficolan Arwetta for the contrast color, and then Cascade Heritage for the body. The next one I want to talk about, there's more in there, but I'm going to talk about that after. I've been working on a step-by-step cardigan by Florence Miller. Florence Miller? Yeah. So I am making this with Giddyfra metal tweed held double with a mystery tweed cone from the thrift store. I swatched and got gauged, so I'm actually just in the middle of my bind off. I didn't do a full 7 centimeters of ribbing. I think I'm about 6. Just taking forever. I am happy with how this is working up. It is, it's taken a while, but I'm happy with the result. I love color. I love bright things. I love really bold garments. And so my thought in making a brown sweater was there are times when I'm trying to get ready and I'm like, I just need a neutral something, believe it or not, especially for work. And I don't have anything. So I'm like, a neutral. Neutrals are good. But I don't knit for anything other than chasing dopamine. So this is not giving me dopamine because it's brown and in my lizard brain, it's boring. So it's taking forever because I'm just not inspired by it. And that's ridiculous, but that's just how the brain works. Also, this is not a project bag, but I wanted to show it off because I've made it into a project bag. I got this ridiculous Cookie Monster tote from HomeSense before Valentine's Day, obviously. I think it was like $7.99. I actually really like these canvas totes for project bags. Not that I need more project bags, but it's just, again, dopamine, and I'm a child. So this is my project bag from my needle crafts. I actually had this custom made from the fabric and canvas options. This great Canadian maker. She's in Ontario somewhere. I can't remember where, but really, really beautiful quality. It's got the hinges on it that makes it feel like a doctor's bag. I'm sure there's a word for it. Really, really well made. These also have like an interior zipper, a nice flat bottom so my project can stand up. Really, really nice canvas handles, the nice long zipper. I can't say enough good things. And I think this moth pattern, I suspect, is a Tula pink fabric. Anyways, really, really love these. I am working on a shawl and I can't remember what its name is. Oh, Jenny's Little Christmas, I think. It's a Jenny's Little Christmas, I think. I'll put the information down below. I'm just, again, dopamine, happy, scraps. So this is the first section that I've completed. Let me get going here. And then now I'm on to building the next section out. This is a fantastic pattern. I really love it. I'll link the designer's information down below. I'm just using a lot of my fingering scraps and again, dopamine, happy, easy project. Very it's very potato chippy and repetitive. I've got a whole bunch of my skeins and scraps in here and a whole bunch of other random things in here as well. Gum. Ball bands, makeup brush, many go cords, a pen from Pretty by Her that says, "Don't touch my fucking pen." If you haven't shopped Pretty by Her, look her up. Kelly's incredible. She does the most incredible stationery products, and she's a lovely human. So, anyways, that's that. That's my second whip. Maybe I should organize these so I know what's where. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, that was 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have other whips that are in hibernation, but anyways. And I have started a nebula. So this is a pullover pattern from Andrea Mowry, and it's knit bottom up, as she seems to do with her sweaters. And I'm knitting this in Cascade Katata in 2 colors. I will put the information down below. It's this like baby ballerina pink and this hot pink. So I've seen Katata before, and actually when I at the store at my local yarn shop we had some, but it was like really drab colors. And then I saw on Yarn Bar Cafe's Instagram a picture of, I think that it was a picture of a shelf, and I don't actually think this was the intended part of the photo, but I saw all these skeins of really saturated, bright, beautiful hanks of yarn. And I asked her what it was, and she says it was Katata, and I was like, no, Katata is not that saturated. But anyways, I looked online, and I think these are new colors. So I had a really hard time deciding on colors when I went out there because I was waffling between, I think I might still have it. If I do have the photo, I'll put it in here because I sent it to a few I did a call a friend sort of for advice, because I had in my head I wanted to do like a bright sweater, but I wanted it like striped and blocked. I didn't want all over solid. And so this was the winner. It's a really cool yarn because it's a cotton merino blend. Let me grab the exact. So it's 70% cotton, 30% superwash merino wool. It is a DK weight. This is in the color neon strawberry. I'm gonna see if the camera will pick it up. It's a really cool yarn because it almost looks like tie-dyed. It's a chainette that has the fiber blown into it and around it. So I'll see, you can kind of see the little white chainette and then the pink. So it's kind of got like a tubular feel, and I think that's really great, especially with the cotton. I feel like this is a really great transition piece because as much as I feel like we are in the depths of a very cold and snowy and ugly winter, summer will come, and apparently we're gonna have the hottest summer on record here in Ontario. So kill me now. I really like the way it's working up. It's kind of that like tie-dyed, over-dyed tonal, and then with the ballerina pink, just really nice, lovely, neutral. It's definitely pulling very beige here, but I think I would call it like a true baby ballerina ballet slipper pink, nude pink. So that's that. So I have two finished objects. I'm gonna make sure I put in lots of applause sound effects after, since I'm home alone, so I'm the only one cheering for myself. I talked about this earlier. I finished my Six of Daisies cardigan. This was an interesting garment for me for a few reasons, because it was definitely not something I normally do for a few different reasons. So, number one, this is a seamed garment, which I don't care for seaming. It is technically an intarsia. I have never done intarsia and did not feel like learning it. So I did, I guess, kind of what I would call like stranded color work. So I did have a few bobbins going, but I don't think it was true intarsia. So, and it's also an Aran weight. I don't typically knit in bulky weights because I'm always hot, but really, really great. It obviously works up very quickly because it's an Aran weight and it's a very heavy pattern. And I also opted to not do the daisy print on the sleeves. I just didn't want to. Just didn't feel like it. And I knit the sleeves. I knit the sleeves in the round. So the pattern did call for seaming, like knitting them flat and seaming, and I was like, no thanks. So I knit mine in the round, and then like I picked up the stitches and I knit them that way. But I did seam everything else. And even the way it was seamed, it was asking for like crocheting your pieces together instead of like stitching, which I like. I definitely think it gives you this really nice, let me see if I can pick it up, this nice stitch along the shoulder. And it is a nice boxy crop. This I knit in Hobie's Tweed Delight in the colorway Pickles and Azurite. And I did have quite a bit left over from this that I'm trying to resell. So check Poshmark. And the buttons, these like little bread hot cross bun buttons. I'm really happy with those. These are, I got them from Lens Mill. My Lens Mill does a fill a bag special on buttons. So these I had 4 of them, thankfully. I wanted to use these on another project, but I needed 5 buttons. So thankfully I had 4 of these. I'm happy with how it turned out. It's not one I reach for as much. I'm not entirely sure why. I think probably just because I'm so obsessively in love with my Come Back Again that I will wear that with everything every day. And so I don't reach for it as much. The tweed is a little sheddy too, like the yarn sheds. It's a little like floofy, like it sheds the big bits and the little bits. So maybe that's it. I don't know. I am going to wear it more. But like I said, I just finished blocking it, I want to say like last week. So that is my one finished object. I finished that and then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm still in the middle of so many freaking sweaters because again, I've decided I'm a sweater knitter now. I just needed a quick win. I needed like a quick little shot of dopamine. So I knit a ranunculus. obviously. And here she is. So we love a good crop. I have not blocked and woven in my ends yet, but I just had to show her off. Really, really pretty. Before you come for me, I want to say something. I'm not perfect, neither is anyone else. And billionaires are ruining our planet. Okay? So, now that I've put in that little disclaimer, this yarn is from Temu. This is a cashmere yarn from Temu. I was struck by the color. I bought it in a 4-pack. It's this really, really pretty, delicate blown lavender color with these little red and blue tweedy bits. Like I said, I haven't blocked it, so I do suspect it'll be much more sheer when I'm done. It's a layering piece. It's very soft. It's very warm. It didn't smell weird. It's really easy to, on the internet, be like, you shouldn't order from Temu and blah, blah, blah. And absolutely, like, Temu sales are absolutely, fast fashion is destroying the world. Absolutely. But, like, I think that's an oversimplification. I think these issues are a lot more nuanced. And I think hyper focusing on that takes away from all the attention put on billionaires who, all flew on their private jets to the Super Bowl. Doug Ford selling parts of Ontario for the Ring of Fire and extraction that is literally killing our earth and, kind of bulldozing over First Nations communities that have been protecting that land since time immemorial, and all of the violence that comes when land camps are set up for extraction purposes, all of the sexual violence that happens when these man camps appear out of nowhere. But anyways, like I said, I'm not a perfect person. I ordered yarn from Temu. I will own that, and I will make peace with my maker when I meet them. Either way, we're not here to shame. Okay, so those are my whips, and those are my whips, and those are my finished objects. The next thing I wanted to get into is I have a few items to open that I thought I'd open on camera. I ordered some stickers from Jukebox. I have ordered some new designs and some restocks. So, didn't even need that nifty little knife, did I? Jukebox is a Canadian-owned printing company. I've been ordering them for a few years now. They have really fantastic customer service, amazing quality. I love their branding and their tissue paper. So they always send in like boxes like this. I've asked them before to not send me packaging. And they're like, we can't not do it. And I didn't really pursue that. But my daughter actually really loves these boxes for playing, so I give them to her. They're really high quality too. But anyways, so I reordered a few stickers. If you're like an ASMR person, this might be cool to you. Oh, this is actually new paper. It's like sticky. Oh, interesting. They didn't have this before when I ordered it. It just came in regular tissue paper. Oh, they're like little pouches. Okay, I feel like these are less wasteful than all the paper they wrap in. Anyways, so this one is a repeat design. Coffee slut. Love coffee. Yeah. Self-explanatory. I did write the slut part in like Old English font to try and make it less obvious. Not that I care, but maybe other people care. Okay. The next reorder is again, I have certain words that are my favorite. Slut is one of them. So, little slut for a little smut with a little spicy chili emoji. Like, not an emoji, but like an ode to the emoji. For my spicy readers out there. And myself, you know who you are. ASMR. Maybe this is just an ASMR channel now. ASMR. This one sold out over Christmas, so I had to reorder it. Dream big, fart loud. If you've never seen before, I make stickers. They are, I feel like they have like a pretty clear message. What I say to people when they come to like my booth, if I'm at markets or shows or powwows or whatever, is like, it's not friendly, not kid appropriate, and not safe for work. But like I try to warn people, like my kids see them, but either way, I'm not gonna impede on how someone else's parents. So that's the first thing I say. My stickers, because I typically get one of two reactions when people see my stickers. They're either like, or there's laughter. And what I say to people is, I feel like my design work has a very clear lens, and it is one that you will either find funny or horrifying depending on how you vote and how your childhood was. So there's that. I was out of quite a few things, so I did have to do a few restocks, which was great because they had a jukebox had like a buy more save more special, and they also had like a free 50 stickers of a new design if you spent, I think, over 75, which is fabulous because I had a new design. So I love this one. Also one that sold out recently. Again, self-explanatory. I feel like I have a very clear lens when it comes to my work. And this one I didn't realize I was sold out of until someone ordered, and I felt really bad. Little Miss Feminist bitch. I also really like this one. I had a few designs that I brought out right before Christmas because it was in a few stores, and this is a new one. And I haven't opened this yet. I saw the proof, but seeing it in person is different for the first time. So this is based off of something that my friend Sarah said to me years ago in passing as I was leaving. I think I was dropping her off or she was leaving my house or something. And it is one of my favorite phrases to use as a joke, and we're in really, really dark, fucked up times right now. And so I feel like it's more relevant than ever. Again, like, I use humor as a coping mechanism. I'm really into like dark humor, and I think a lot of people who have survived childhood trauma, hard things, or work in really high stress situations also really rely on dark humor. So that's your preamble warning, I guess. I also really like this font because it reminds me of like the 90s, kind of like the Delia's catalogs, or if anyone remembers that, like, I think they were Irish, that Irish pop group Bewitched. I feel like this was the font on their CD that I had when I was like 7. My friend Sarah said it to me, and I just cackled, and I still cackle when I think of it. She was saying, "Stay vigilant. There's men out there." Yeah. So those are my stickers, and you saw them opened live, not live, but in real life. So we both got to experience them at the same time together. So now we're bonded.
Now we're bonded.
A couple more things I want to talk about. Some books. So I've been reading. I do read. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks, and then I've also been trying to slow down and read books. I listen to a lot of audiobooks when I'm doing other activities, whether I'm driving or I'm knitting, whatever. Again, I'm trying to sort of slow down and not feel the need to totally immerse myself all the time, or to like be okay with quiet activities like reading. The first one, I asked for this book for Christmas. I got it for Christmas. That's a little macabre, but anyways, I finished reading Nobody's Girl by Virginia Roberts Guffrey. Is Guffrey how we say her name? Virginia was one of the original public Epstein victims. She wasn't the original victim by any means, and she wasn't the original victim that he was convicted of assaulting. But she was sort of the face of accusing Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and other men in power and predators, and bringing them down. She unfortunately passed away in April of 2025, which I have feelings about. I don't, there's lots of conspiracy theories, and I could go put on my tin hat, my aluminum foil hat if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. This book is incredible. This book is very hard to read. It took me from Christmas until like a week ago. like mid-February, end of February, because it's a very tough read. And I would highly encourage anyone who has the capacity, making sure you're taking good care of yourself to read it. This should be on record everywhere forever. It's, like I said, it's a lot right now. If you are a woman, if you are a survivor, if you are connected to someone who is a survivor of sexual abuse and exploitation, it's a lot. Like, things are a lot. My central nervous system is just going absolutely haywire. It's not a happy book. It's not an easy read. It is an important, incredibly important book, especially because Andrew Mountbatten, not going to call him Prince because fuck him, was arrested the other day, not because of the charges of sexual exploitation and abuse, other charges, but she was the one who brought him into the public light and called him out publicly for abuse. And yeah, just really, really hard to read. There's been some dialogue in the book and in the media around her relationship with her husband, which we know from record was not as sunshiny as I think she made it out to be, and that's also really shitty. But there's even a photo section. Again, fuck Trump, fuck everyone, truly. Read it, take good care of yourself. Like I said, I read it in very, very small tiddly bits. A couple other things I've read. I finished. What have I finished? I finished Onyx Storm. I was reading on my Kobo. What the fuck? Took me forever to finish. So annoyed by the ending. Like, I'm gonna say this about Rebecca Yarros. Her books are great. I've read the first couple ones with my cousin and my friend. Slow burn, for sure. There was too much plot in Onyx Storm. Like, I'll just say it. There was too much plot. There was not enough sex. Like, I need both, okay? Like, we have needs. And I think Rebecca Yarros set the bar really high for herself because she was able to do both in a really fantastic way. In the other books, in Fourth Wing, I don't remember what the other one was called. Anyways, there's only 3 books out right now, so I did finish that. I don't know. I have feelings about everything, clearly. Let's check my Goodreads because I feel like I'm forgetting something. Am I forgetting something? I feel like I am. I don't have it with me. It's over there and I'm over here. I am currently reading When Women Lead by Julia Borston, which is incredible. Oh, I never marked Nobody's Girl finished. Anyways, what else have I been reading? I read Nobody's Girl, Onyx Storm, The Imperium. I listened to Girl in the Middle, Growing Up Between Black and White, Rich and Poor, the Degrassi Stars Memoir of Divided Families, Identity and Healing by Anais Granovsky. I don't know why I have trouble saying that. That was really beautiful. Really, really beautiful memoir. I'm very into memoirs lately. I think telling your story, part of your story, is really powerful. That's resonated with me a lot lately. I finished LA Women by Ella Berman. I also love a good period piece around the 60s and the 70s. This one was in LA especially. It is fiction. That was a nice, easy read, palate cleanser, I guess. And right now I am also reading The Missing Half by Ashley Flowers. So, oh, my Kobo's acting up. It's fiction. It's like a fiction crime mystery novel. Ashley Flowers and Britt are the hosts of Crime Junkie and The Deck. Those are 2 podcasts that I've listened to extensively. They're part of my routine, and I really, really love all the information that they've provided on the advocacy work that Crime Junkie and The Deck do. Especially, they have a not-for-profit set up to try to help reduce the backlog of sexual assault kits. And they do a lot of advocacy with cold cases and different things like that. And the hosts talk really openly about some of the stuff that they've going on. There was something, I can't remember if it was Britt or Ashley, a couple years ago took some time off to address her substance use, her alcohol use. And that was really, really powerful to hear. And so the main character in the book also struggles with alcohol dependency or use disorder, as someone who has also struggled with alcohol and is not happy about my relationship with alcohol and recognizes that it's an ongoing thing that lands with me. So this is so it's fantastic. Where am I? I'm almost done it. I'm 76% done. So I might finish that today. Who knows? And yeah, just really, really, really well written. And also because it's written by one of my favorite podcasters, I automatically was into it, but it is actually really well done. And yeah, so those are books. Shows. What have we been watching for shows? Okay, couple things. The Pit. I have been watching The Pit since day one. I will fully take credit for that. The Pit season 2 is out now. Not the whole thing. I've been having to wait every week. So I had to, pay for a Crave subscription again. Totally worth it. The Pit is so good. Oh, I just love it. I love it for a few reasons. I feel like the characters are really well developed. I think what I liked about season 1 too is that they tackled a lot of issues, whether it was like the state of healthcare in America. There was I say child, but like an adult, a youth, a young person who had a fentanyl overdose who wasn't the typical drug user and like was a college student, and like the accidental overdose that happened, and that was really well done in my opinion. As someone who comes from a harm reduction background, I felt like they took the time to really be intentional about opiate use disorder and fentanyl and addiction, dispelled some of the, or attempted to dispel some of the like preconceived notions or myths around opiates. I'm not an opiate user, but I worked for a very long time with vulnerable folks who struggled with like polysubstance use disorder, complex mental health, chronic homelessness, trauma, all that stuff. Like harm reduction it's in my bones. It's I'm such a passionate person about harm reduction and this wild idea that we treat people like human beings regardless of whether they're on drugs or not. I know, crazy, right? So I really appreciate it from that perspective as well. They tackled quite a few different things, like really, really beautifully done. If you've never watched The Pit, season 1 and season 2 cover different days. So season 1 is each episode is an hour in a shift in an emergency room in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's why they call it The Pit with 2 T's. And Noah Wiley is I don't know if he's like the chief resident. I don't know. I never understand, like, it's like military structure. I don't understand like doctor levels structure either, but he's the big cheese on the day shift and he's fantastic. They also do quite a lot of flashback to COVID, during the early days of COVID, and his struggle with what is probably some form of PTSD. And so season 1, they actually, one of the things that happens about halfway through the show, not to give away spoilers, is there's a mass shooting. Season 2 is hour by hour as well on the same day of a shift, and it is 4th of July. So as you can imagine, all the interesting things that happen on that day. So I love The Pit. Still watching The Pit. Noah Wiley's fantastic. If you don't know, Noah Wiley was on ER. That's how he got his start in television, or I guess like that's how he became famous, or what he's best known for. It is not Noah Weil. It's Noah Wiley. The internet lied to you, Allie. Anyways, he's fabulous. Funny enough, I've read that him and the production team are actually being sued by Michael Crichton's estate. Michael Crichton's estate is the one who owns the rights to ER. I guess the lore is that Noah Wiley apparently approached the estate about doing a reboot of ER. They said no thank you, so then he helped create The Pit, and now he's being sued. They're being sued, whatever. I feel like it won a bunch of daytime Emmys. It's fabulous. I love it. The other thing, Fallout season 2 is out. I started watching it and was like, I have no idea what is happening. I watched season 1. I don't remember 75% of what happened that they're referencing in season 2. So I've gone back and started watching season 1. So that's just something I'm like, let me try again before I get into season 2. Paradise on Amazon Prime, I heard, is just out. I really, really loved that show. I binged that first season in a couple days. So I know there's a few episodes out that I'm probably going to watch soon. I do need to go back and rewatch the last episode of the first season just to orient myself, since, my memory sucks. I need to just like lean into that and accept it. So that's really exciting. I think I'm very, very, very tickled about that one too. I feel like a lot of people can relate to this. My algorithm on social media for the past month or two has been ice in Minnesota, fuck ice, knitting, as it always says, knitting the melt the ice hat, and Heated Rivalry. And so I watched Heated Rivalry. and the Olympics. So I watched Hated Rivalry, also known as the greatest love story ever told. I will never be the same. There is life before Heated Rivalry and there is life after Heated Rivalry, and that is the stage I am in right now. I might rewatch it just to feel the feels again, but I'm also not emotionally ready to feel that way again. Funny enough, I actually watched it. I watched the last episode on my lunch break the other day, and then had to go into a meeting with my boss and like pull myself together. So I do not recommend doing that. Even though your lunchtime is yours, it's paid, it's unpaid time, it's yours. Don't do that. So yes, Heated Rivalry. I like, wow, just holy cannoli, so well done. So I still, again, I only finished watching it a couple days ago, so I don't know if I've like fully digested. And speaking as a cisgendered, white passing, able bodied woman who came out as bisexual in my early 30s, which I was watching the Taylor Tomlinson new comedy special, Prodigal Daughter, last night. That's also a great watch. She talked about coming out as bisexual a few years ago, and like, you know, coming out wasn't really the same as when you were coming out in your teenage years. She was like, you know, the coast was kind of clear. And I feel that way too, especially as someone who's in like a heteronormative marriage. So what I loved about Heated Rivalry was that this show, what the way that it was done, in that I feel like the two characters were not tropes. Their identity was not being gay. They were hockey players who are gay and navigating that, and even the other players. But the fact that they weren't just like sort of put into these boxes and it wasn't neat and tidy, like nothing was really clean cut. There was a lot of nuance in it with a few of the different relationships in the show. Just beautiful. I am unwell. I will never be the same again. Never. Also, the accent that Connor, what is his name, Connor, used, like the Russian accent and the dialogue and the deadpan obnoxious things that were said with this like thick Russian accent.
Lovers. No. That's gross.
What the f was that?
Alone? I'm coming to the cottage.
You like tuna melt?
Never in life have I blushed. Russians do not do this.
You will murder me. So being boring is genetic. What color? You. He's big.
Just killed me. I cackled. I laughed so much. I was just, I don't know, it tickled something in my brain that felt really good. Really, really good. Especially as the world is a fucking dumpster fire. That was the bath that my brain needed. You know, that was my little happy break from the real world. So, highly recommend, highly, highly, highly recommend Heated Rivalry if you have not watched it. I mean, again, I feel like I'm another woman being like, watch Heated Rivalry, it's amazing. Like, I know, I get it. I'm aware that I fall into a lot of basic bitch categories. Some of them I fall into, and some of them I willingly dive into head first. Whatever you need to do to get by, right? Whatever you need to do to survive. My little sweet baby. I want to see if I can angle the camera so you can see him. Like, my little sweet baby. I think this is where I'm going to leave it for now. It's been a long episode. It's going to be not enjoyable editing, but that's okay. If you are not already a subscriber, I would love to have you hang out. If you would love to comment down below, I would love to know, what are you watching? What are you watching? Tell me your show. Tell me about your podcast or your books. Did I get anything wrong? Is there anything on here that you're like, girl, please tell me. I'd love to know. Tag a friend. Engagement really does help. I don't get anything doing this. It's just for my own pure joy and enjoyment. I'm not monetized. Anyways, if you're not already a subscriber, I would love to have you. If you want to hang out, I'm on Instagram at Fire and Fiber Makes. Fiber spelled the American way, Fiber. And I'm on Ravelry at Audrey Hill, where you can see my projects, find my pattern, whatever. I looked out the window the other night. It was like 5:30 and it was still light out. And I was like, oh, thank God. Summer's coming, winter's ending. Take your vitamins, drink your water, move your body in whatever way feels good. Fuck the patriarchy. Embrace your body, embrace growing older, embrace your lumps and your bumps, and call your local representatives about any of the bullshit that's going on that you're not okay with. Canada or US, there's a ton. There's a plethora, a smorgasbord to choose from. Go to therapy, read your books, read banned books, tell your friends you love them. Stay safe and happy knitting.